G'day guys, we're going to be playing around with some animation techniques today. So posing a character that has an armature. I will be going through how to make a character with armature a little bit later on. This is one Adobe Animate Adobe's provided us. It's in the sample files. I've stripped it back so there's no animation or anything on it yet because I want you to try and make it dance today, a 10-second dance. This file that's been stripped back, if you go into the YouTube description, you'll see a link. If you open that link, it'll send you here. You don't need a Dropbox account for this. If you just go here and say, no thanks, continue to view, you'll get this download here. And once you download it and open it up, you'll see pretty much exactly what I see. So here I have a little skeleton that we're about to make dance. So if I scrub my timeline here, you'll see that there's no animation on this guy. How I like to do this is create some movement first. So I like to, let's say I want to move this character. So if I click on it, you'll see that it's all interconnected with, these are bones. We'll go more into that in the future, but we need our free transform tool and we want to Control A, select everything. That's our first frame, so maybe the first second we get our skeleton, and I'll just select everything again, we get our skeleton to move across the screen slightly. Now you'll see there that it made a keyframe but then it moved it straight back. I don't know why it does that, just a glitch, but you might have to move it twice. So there you go, I've got my skeleton moving from this keyframe to that keyframe. It's already going to tween it for you. So what I will need to do next, well, I'm just going to create a couple of little movements. So I'm going to go to the 2-second mark, do the same thing. So Control A to select all and move it back twice. So we've got that movement there, back and forward. I could go through and do my whole 10 seconds like that, just sort of moving it up and down and whatever. But for the purpose of this, I'll just do these two. So I'm going back to my first pose here. I'm going to go back to my select tool. And if I click on my foot here, I can click and hold this little handle here and you can see my foot moves. I'm going to make my skeleton go from this pose to here, but remembering that my skeleton goes that way, so I'm going to sort of replicate the movement if I can. So maybe I'm going to get this foot to sort of propel my skeleton. Let's call him Bob. So get a pose on the first frame that you kind of you like. Let's make him wind up to go that way. So then I'm going to go a couple of frames in, maybe even 5 frames, and move this foot. So he's just sort of, make his foot kind of come up a bit more like that. There we go. So see how my foot's now propelling that movement? I can then go in and like fully exaggerate the leg and push it all the way. Let's do that. So there's my one leg movement. And when we make keyframes, so if I want a full movement, it's worth considering doing the bigger movements, and I probably shouldn't have gone and made 3 new keyframes with one leg, because if I want to change this foot here, or if let's use the head as an example. If I want to move the head during this process, go say on that side, then you'll notice that my keyframe, frame 8 to 15 is when it moves, which is okay. But if I wanted to start moving that at frame 3 and 5, then I have to sort of replicate that movement. So I'm going to start moving him on 3 and 5. I've made my job harder because I've just focused on one body part. And I've kind of made his head bobble back and forth. You can always go to that actual keyframe and correct things, but make sure you're on that keyframe and not the one next to it, because you can really make your moves. See how it like got all jagged then? So I'm going to undo that. And my back leg, I need to make that move. Kind of jump. It doesn't look great right now. I can grab individual parts of my skeleton. It will act a little bit funny here and there, but you'll figure it out. Okay, so this next one, maybe I go to my midpoint first and in between those two frames and put in the movement. So let's play around with the arms here and move the legs. Let's do it like a mid-air thing. So I've got more movement with less work. So from that frame to that frame, I mean, that even does an okay job. And then I can do the finer details of my foot down here. So from this frame, my foot can really sort of push that movement back the other way. Hey, look, that's a really nice dance move. So maybe get those basic movements with longer. Let's go one more. Move it up here. Make it jump this time from there to there, but in the middle we want it to be sort of up, and it's kind of not great because it's sort of it'll do. So I've got this jump there, and I've put 3 frames in between there, there, and there, and I'm only going to work with those. Or maybe I'll do the feet because they need to propel my skeleton. So here, let's, oops. Okay, so I've still got my free transform tool selected, so be careful with that. Go back to select. Big jump. Hey, that's gonna look cool, but because I've already set these positions here, I have to kind of redo everything. So I guess what I'm trying to say is keep it simple. This is a very ballerina kind of skeleton right now. Yeah, that'll do. Anyway, have a play. Do 10 seconds of dance. If you do find that you hate, so maybe I don't really like this one here, you can click on the keyframe and go clear pose. And that's probably a bit smoother. And what I can probably do is Control A, get my free transform, and just move it up slightly. And that would probably work a bit better. There we go. Ah, look at that. And I could go down here. Like you could play around with this all day. Go down here and make the foot like a snap. Whoops. Remember to get your select tool back. Oh. Oh, what did I do there? I've muffed it. There we go. So there, and then let's pull this foot down because it's giving us the motion. Yep, cool. Anyway, have a play. Have fun with it. See what you can come up with. Good luck.